Hey everybody, I'm here at South by Southwest 2016 with Tom Cullen, Tatiana Maslany, and Joey Klein, the director, writer, and stars of the movie The Other Half. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good,
Good,
okay.
thanks. Good,
Let's talk about The Other Half then, shall we? So Joey, what gave you the idea for this movie to put these two very problematic characters into a relationship and build a movie around it?
I wish I could say I was like that strategic. I think I just kind of like, I guess you can call your first draft a vomit draft, and I think for a while they were just emotional vomit drafts. I think I come from the point of view of being an actor for a lot longer, and that kind of informs how I write. And I think I was first just trying to write about like a prolonged grief that was realistic and truthful to me. And then films influenced me. Shoot the Piano Player really influenced me in terms of a character who's lost somebody and having to be brave enough to let him or herself love again, and just how I guess I became very fascinated. We talked a bunch about this when we were shooting, just how two sick animals come together and how kind of to each other their stink don't stink has kind of become the fastest way I know how to say it. And I guess I just feel like it becomes, once I like writing for people, and once I, knew that Tat was doing it, then Tom was doing it, that really informs the process for me. And it just becomes, I guess, about like not trying to control too much and just seeing where it goes. As a writer, that's how I work.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that. So Tom and Tatiana, your characters, they deal with these very, very real and relatable problems. Nikki has PTSD from dealing with his grief, and Emily has bipolar disorder. So how do you two go about preparing for those kinds of roles? And is there any sort of pressure involved with trying to get that representation done well? Give it justice?
Yes, I think there is pressure, and the pressure is in. Yes, there of course there's pressures because you want to get it right, and so the pressure is relieved through hard work and research, and going and character study and breaking down the script, and then you have to relieve yourself of that pressure when you're on set because that PTSD or that bipolar is only specific to that one person, and it is multifaceted, and it operates differently through every single spectrum of every single person, and so it has to be, so then that grief that my character feels is Nikki's grief, it's his grief, and it's the way that he's dealing with it, and so I think I answered the question. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'd say too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. This is for all three of you, I guess.
Okay.
What do you hope viewers will take away from watching this movie after seeing this movie?
I just hope I always love movies where the takeaway is so specific to each person and that there's no kind of universal takeaway. That's from my perspective. I like when people have differing opinions of what the ending means, what that means for Emily and Nikki, what the hope is, what the tragedy is, who they recognize in themselves. Like I just would love it if it sparked a debate and a conversation as
Right.
opposed to kind of one kind of generalized feeling.
Yeah.
Because I think it is a really difficult movie in a lot of ways and challenging, and so I hope that it would be a challenging response that people would have to it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a very different movie. It's very different from any other sort of indie romance movie, and I like that. Yeah.
That is a huge compliment.
So I guess one last question. We're at the University of Texas at Austin. We're college students. So do you have any advice for any student filmmakers, student journalists, anybody trying to get into this world?
I would say make your own work. That's the one advice I would give. But then I'm going to pass it to Joey. I think Joey's a machine. He's a beast at, at cultivating his own.
I'm going to press that button.
It's the green button on the bottom.
I mean, I appreciate you asking me that. I don't feel like I'm any, truly, I don't. Honestly, I had to write like an answer to this in an eCritics thing, and I just wrote like kind of these 3-word sentences like, find the best, devil's handshake, you can, except that there's always going to be a bit of I just got really dark and was like, you're going to make, well, just that you're always going to, there's always going to be some, in the process of trying to make something that is to you so important and is probably not like necessarily an overtly commercial vehicle where everyone will throw money at you for it. You have to just shake hands with certain devils, and you just have to kind of be open to a process that is going to be different than what you would expect, no matter what you expect. And I was very privileged in making my first film. Like, I had the most amazing and most committed and people who were in it for the love of the game, and that for me made it like a joyous experience. So it's weird watching your film with strangers. Like, I loved it, but I also feel like the most wonderful thing is the making of it. I was hoping it would be the sharing of it, but it ain't, because it's a sport and it's a game, and it's a thing of beauty to work with people that are that creative and care that much and are willing to get messy and ugly and dirty doing it. So I would say find those people that are them for you. And we had a filmmakers lunch yesterday, and Robert Rodriguez said some really cool things. He said, don't come to Austin, find your own Austin. And I think that's beautiful. Like, you guys are growing up with the people you'll make all your films with, hopefully. And you'll also, like, hopefully know the people in your class where you're like, I'll never work with you. I can't stand the shit you stand for. I think that's important. Figure out who you love and creatively who you hate and why.
Okay. Thank you. That is amazing.
I guess I had
advice.
one thing to say about it.
No,
Yeah.
it was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say just make anything at any point, anywhere. Like no matter what it is, just do it. Just go out and create all the time.
Okay.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Because what you just said, it made me think of it. It's so democratized now, and there's so many films out there, and it's interesting to hear Janet, the creative director of the festival, talk about it. She's saying this lovely thing that there's more good work, that the democratization hasn't led to just like a flood of terrible stuff. It's like there's a lot of good stuff out there, and if you, like, for me, I geek out on music, and I made some of the music. Tommy did music for the movie. Like, if you can take as much as that in your own hands, like, why go hire a composer? No offense to the lovely composers out there. Like, figure out the music that you want for it and make it on your computer. And that's, like, special and exciting to me that we can do that now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for talking with us.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks a lot.